Perfect.
Welcome to tipsforgamers.com. We're going to be breaking down the best traits to have for quarterbacks, halfbacks, and wide receivers in simulation. We'll also touch base on a little bit of user play as well. For those of you guys who are user playing and not just doing simulation. And if you guys like this video and you guys want to help out our channel, make sure to leave us a like and a comment down below. Also subscribe and click the notification bell. But leaving us a like and leaving us a comment really goes a long way, and we cannot thank you enough. Also, make sure to get merched up, guys. If you like our merch, go check it out. Get snazzy, baby. So we're going to break down quarterbacks first on what you guys will need to be successful with your particular quarterback. Now, not all traits are the exact same for every single quarterback. Some of your quarterbacks may need a few trait adjustments or some traits that you want to be looking for depending on the attributes of the quarterback in mention. So we're not going to really touch base on development because it really doesn't make sense in this video, but penalty in general, if you're doing user play, that's basically up to you. If you're getting penalties with your quarterback, that's on you. So that's not really nothing. The traits are going to change with that, but a good rule of thumb is normal or disciplined. That's good to have. Even if you have a quarterback, if he's very talented and he's undisciplined, I'll still take my chances on him because how many quarterbacks are getting penalties? There's just not a lot. So we're on to our very first important trait, which is the throw the ball away trait. Now, this is very important that you guys get this correct, depending on the quarterback that you have and the attributes that your quarterback possesses. If I have a quarterback who is slow, he doesn't have a high speed rating, agility, or acceleration, or a combo of all three, then you're really doing yourself a disservice by having this click to a no. Okay, if he can't throw the ball away, throw it out of bounds, he's going to take a lot of unnecessary sacks because simply, even if I move him to an improviser and he escapes the pocket, it's not going to be very long before someone's breathing down his neck. And the last thing you want is him to hold on to the ball. Okay, that's the last thing you guys want. So make sure if your quarterback is slow, he's a pure pocket passer, you want this on yes. So the reason I would have this on no is if I have a quarterback that is a pure improvising style quarterback and has the attributes to fit it. If I got a quarterback who has got, even an 82 speed, I would look to moving him to an improviser and kind of making him more of a balanced quarterback. And then at this point in time, and especially if your quarterback is fast. If you have a really fast quarterback, I would definitely have this on no, because I don't know if you guys remember Bill Underwood from our Bears rebuild. If he escapes the pocket and he's got an 80-something, 90 speed, and he escapes that pocket, there's going to be a lot of guys who are just not going to be fast enough to catch him from behind, and he's going to be able to look downfield without his first initial reaction to throw the ball out of bounds. He's going to be looking for that nasty 50-yard bomb ski, and you're going to find great plays that happen. You're going to see more of that Pat Mahomes style, where Pat Mahomes literally gets to where he's almost out of bounds before he throws that ball away because he is constantly looking downfield, and that's kind of something you want to recreate. So if I got a quarterback who fits that style, then I'm definitely going to want this as a no instead of, hey, he missed a 50-yard bomb ski because the initial trait was to throw the ball away and he still had 10 yards before he got out of bounds. So the sense of pressure is something I would also want to get correct because this is something that it can really make life easy or hard for you. And we're going to start out with trigger happy. Okay, now trigger happy is one if you do have a quarterback that you drafted and he's very talented and you're like, crap, but he's trigger happy. Okay, you're going to want to try to tame that beast because this means basically this kid is crapping his pants back there. He is absolutely scared, and that is never good when you have an NFL quarterback. Maybe college, but not in the NFL. So trigger happy, if you got this trait for your quarterback, you're going to want to make his accuracy on point because he's going to throw it early. And you may be able to get 56 TDs, but you're going to get a lot of interceptions as well. So keep that in mind. You're going to have kind of like a Jameis Winston effect going on this. No shade to you, Jameis Winston, but you do match your TDs. That's all I'm saying. But with the trigger happy here, you're going to want to tame that beast. This is one that I'd rather have this than oblivious. And I know I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but paranoid's also another one. If you have paranoid, these can just be frustrating, especially with rookie quarterbacks and quarterbacks that don't have high attributes. These can be very annoying. And they can also be very annoying even if you have a high overall quarterback and good attributes. Oblivious is one that I just never want. This is just like, what's wrong with you, kid? What are you doing back there? I just didn't see him coming. No, you didn't even think about it. Okay, average. I can't complain with this. I'm not gonna be super angry if he has this. I can still work with it. That's one that I'm not going to crush myself. Ideal is obviously one that's the ideal one. Okay, so we really don't need to go on any further with that. You understand where you lie when it comes to the sense of pressure traits at this moment. Now, the fights for extra yards, this is one that I would enjoy to have, because it's one that you only can do so much, even if you're in user play or if you're in simulation. This is just an added bonus because your guy either has it or he doesn't, right? That's just the way it is. In football, you can be big, you can be 250 pounds, you can have a bench press of 800 pounds, you can have a squat of 1 million, and you either can play football or you can't. This one is that ability. Okay, this is that trait. He's either going to fight for extra yards or he's not. That's the simple fact right there. And even if you lock in an animation, a juking animation, or you try to do, trucking animation, he's either going to fight for extra yards or he's not. That's basically that. So this is just an added bonus. I still don't want my quarterback taking a lot of unnecessary hits, but still, if he's going to take that hit, you better fight for the extra yards, son. The covers the ball trait for all hits is going to be where your magical spot is. You're going to want that. Quarterbacks have one of the lowest carrying ratings in Madden, and they fumble the ball more than any other player who touches the ball consistently. So you're going to want that for all hits. Always, this can get frustrating. This can get annoying. And I don't really know any real football player who does that all the time. Never is ridiculous. Like, this is insane. On big hits, this really doesn't make a lot of sense to me when it comes to actually playing football, because if you've ever played football, you understand the fact that even the big hits that look huge are the ones that guys tend to not get injured on. It's the hits that you didn't really think were that big, where the guy walks out and he's injured. And that's just kind of the way football works. And I don't even know how you really know what's going to be a big hit, what's not going to be a big hit, maybe how fast the guy's running, and then you're going, oh, that's going to be a big hit. That's kind of like fortune telling at that point in time. Big hits are big hits. I don't see really any hit that's not going to be a big hit compared to one that's not, and how your quarterback's going to decipher that in the game of Madden. I don't think Madden has that coding down enough for this to really make you want to get this, and I definitely wouldn't want this. That's my personal opinion on that. You guys can take it or leave it, but on medium hits, all these ones here, I just wouldn't want them. I would just want for all hits. How about that? Let's just round it up, make it easy, and go for all hits, especially when you're carrying his hot garbage. Now, of course, when it comes to Madden makes one that's not here, which is so stupid, which is the tight spiral. So we'll touch base on the tight spiral real quick. The tight spiral does not matter. Like Peyton Manning said, he's thrown 500 wobbly passes and touchdown passes in his career, and you're going to see your quarterback do the same if your quarterback is actually talented. So that one I wouldn't worry about. If it's like, oh, he throws a tight spiral, I need that. If that's your make or break, then you're doing things wrong, and I really wouldn't hang my hat on that trait whatsoever. Now, on the high motor trait, this is something that I'm not going to hang my hat on, and neither should you guys. If he doesn't have the high motor, oh well. If he does have the high motor, then that's an added bonus, and that's something that I enjoy to see. Of course, I love to see that, but that's not going to make me not draft the guy. That's not going to make me trade the guy away. That's just not going to be one of those traits. He's not going to win you less Super Bowls because of it. That's just not going to be the case. There's plenty of other things that are involved to making a quarterback a great quarterback, and this really is not the make or break trait. On the QB style, I do like balance. That is one that I'm a fan of, but if you don't have a quarterback who supports balance, it's not going to really matter too much, because if he's a pocket passer, he's a pocket passer. Now, if he's a scrambling quarterback, that's still fine. You can work him into more of a balanced role by how you upgrade, whether putting him into an improviser, or, you upgrade some of his traits to where he's a better passer. You can do things like that. But I do like balance. Balance is one that I do enjoy. If you have a pocket passing quarterback, obviously, just, you might as well go in full go and just not be dissatisfied if you have a pocket passing style quarterback. So we're going to be breaking down halfbacks now and the traits that are best suited for halfbacks. Disciplined is something that we're definitely going to want to see. Normal is also acceptable. You don't need him when he's blocking for the quarterback. You don't want him getting a lot of holding calls. Now, even if it's undisciplined, that's something you should just monitor. If your halfback is getting a lot of holding calls that you're noticing and you're just like, oh, Jesus, this is just killing me here, then that's something you may want to address at that time. Now, a lot of these traits, we're going to give you guys, ideas on what to do with your traits, but you're at the end of the day, you're the head coach. You're the one who's going to have to monitor it and say, okay, I'm noticing that this is becoming a problem, and then you'll have to make an adjustment where you see fit. The fights for extra yards trait, this is going to be something I'm going to want to see as a yes. This is an added bonus, but it also can be something that can drive you nuts over time. Let's say all of the rest of his traits are good. He's got a high overall. You got a really good offensive line. There's no reason that this guy shouldn't be producing. Okay, you have a good playbook. Your schemes are on point, and you're looking at it saying, this is basically, now you're starting to hone down and figure out exactly what's wrong with your halfback. This could be something that would deter me from signing him to an $80 million deal, $40 million of it guaranteed. If he's just not producing, you're not getting enough production out of him in the playoffs, the Super Bowl. You feel like he's your weak link. You might want to think twice before signing him to a contract you can't get out of if he doesn't have this trait and everything else looks like it's in order. And I also don't want you to apply these things to a guy who's not an all-purpose back. If he's a pure receiving back, there's more issues than just fights for extra yards if you're using him first, second, third, and fourth downs, okay? There's way more issues than just that. However, if you got a guy who's high overall, you can trade that halfback away for gold and easily get a guy who can replace him who does have this trait. So there's no real reason, if you are struggling in that position and you've honed it down to where this is one of the last things that you've noticed, okay, then trade him for a guy who has close to all those same things but has the fight for extra yards. Now, halfbacks, this is huge. Covering the ball for all hits is something I want to see. This is what Ezekiel Elliott has standard here. By the way, his legs look ridiculous, bro. You got legs on legs on legs, man. But with that being said, covering the ball for all hits is what I'm looking at. Anything less than that, if he's always covering the ball, that's kind of annoying. He never covers the ball. Run from this guy. Trade him for a Snickers bar. Whatever you got to do, just get rid of him. But for all hits is what I'm looking at here. Moving on to the high motor trait, this is going to be something I'm going to want as a yes, especially if you're talking a guy who's going to get paid $60+ million. This is the same as fights for extra yards. If you've honed it down and you realize that this is the one weak link here, then you kind of want to make your decision based upon that. However, if you're in an all-user league and you got a high overall guys and is in the 90s or is close to that, you may want to make that exception because there's not many halfbacks left that you could either trade for. Maybe you can pawn him off to someone else and trade them for their halfback, which is something I would definitely try at that point in time because you see a weakness here that you're going, hey, it's kind of like that fights for extra yards. If I'm seeing that he's just not getting as much production, I have a really good offensive line, you may want to make your decision based upon that before you lock him in a contract that you can't get out of. However, if you're in a user league and it's basically a 90 overall compared to a 75 overall, you may want to weigh your options. Say, yeah, I'll take my chances on that compared to the guy who's just not going to simply get the job done. He doesn't have the attributes to fit. His traits aren't perfect. You kind of want to weigh your options. Now, when it comes to the aggressive catch, possession catch, run after catch, these are ones here that they're just added bonuses. Unless you have a receiving style halfback, then you're going to kind of want to be more strict, because if you're just using him on third downs, and he's going out and catching the ball and stuff like that, then that's something you may want to look at because, hey, I'm going to be more strict. If I have a pure receiving back, I expect you to be able to receive and have an aggressive catch or have a possession catch or at least have a combination of a few of these, right? Run after catch. Some of these things you're going to want to have. Now, I think with Ezekiel Elliott, these are not true to what Ezekiel Elliott has. I think he can do these things. He's pretty good with catching. I think there's several halfbacks in the league that can do this, so I think Madden's doing a disservice to a lot of these guys. But there's also the other opportunity where you can move a wide receiver to a halfback for your third down option or for your receiving back option, and then you're going to see some of these guys who have that. Okay, there is that ability as well. Wide receivers tend to be better halfbacks than halfbacks are halfbacks. It's just kind of the way it works, especially in user play, because it makes life really easy when you can throw them the ball and you got a wide receiver basically catching the ball out of the backfield. It's like a sixth wide receiver out there, and it's pretty nice to see. But this basically, if you're having your all-purpose back and he's not really receiving back, if it's a no, I'm not going to trade Ezekiel Elliott away. I'm just not. But if I have a receiving back, once again, I may be a little bit more strict on these traits, or at least one of them, or a combination. Now, when it comes to the penalty, you guys already know. When it comes to the fights for extra yards, this is also something I'm not, he's not a halfback at the end of the day. If I move him to halfback, then yeah, apply the same as we applied to the halfback. But at this point in time, I'm really not going to make my decision based upon this. It's just, it doesn't hold as much water. Covers the ball for all hits is something I like to see. The really good guys have it, and there's a reason they do. Plays ball in the air, balanced, and then I do like aggressive. Those are the two that I would be more willing to have. I'd rather have you aggressive than conservative. Get aggressive. Don't allow our quarterback, if he throws a stupid pass, to throw a pick. High motor, that's a yes or a no. As you can see here, Davante Adams has it as a no, and that's not stopping him, is it? Predictability, that's the same thing. I would want that as a yes. If they don't have it, I'm not going to freak out about it. I'd still love to have Davante Adams on my team. Now, when it comes to the aggressive catch, possession catch, and the run after catch, if you got a guy who's just in a fill-in spot, he's going to be on your team for a year. Obviously don't hang your hat on it, but these are ones that are important. There's no question about it. They are important. If you got a guy who's coming up on a huge contract and he wants a lot of money from you, and you're just not seeing a whole hell of a lot of production from him compared to what you think he should be doing, then this could be a reason why. You want this as a yes as much as possible here. Run after catch, possession catch, and aggressive catch. These are where the elite separate themselves from the good. Okay, and that's something that you need to apply this to when it comes to your really good guys. You need to be more strict on your really good guys. That is also with the dropped passes trait, which they don't show here. I don't know why Madden doesn't show it, but the dropped passes trait is something that I find inexcusable. Dropped wide open passes. I find that inexcusable when you want 80 million from me, when you want 60 million, 40 million. I'm going to think twice before signing you if I could get someone else. Now, with that being said, guys, hopefully you like this video. Share and like it for us. Leave a comment down below. Make sure to visit our site for more content. Take it easy, boys.